I'm Stephen Moore. I'm the director of the Center for Spatial Studies here. And I thought we'd dedicate one Mappy hour this year to, or at least one, to the training opportunities that we have through ESRI. I'm going to check that for a second. Actually, I could look this way. So because of our special relationship with ESRI across town, we have access to all kinds of training that is expensive otherwise. And so I want to make, and we're not taking advantage of it. That's the other thing. We have very few people take advantage of the ESRI training that we have available to us. So I'd like to make it more accessible to people and make people aware of it. So that's why I'm doing this Mappy hour. Basically my PowerPoints are just notes essentially to trigger me to what I'm going to talk about. So today I'm going to talk about 3 different ways you can get trained up on GIS using ESRI resources. The first one is the ESRI Academy, which is the one that would cost you otherwise. And then the other ones are sources that ESRI has, the Learn ArcGIS site, and then the ESRI MOOCs that they teach periodically throughout the year. So we're going to start with ESRI Academy. And ESRI Academy is located at this URL. Honestly, the way I usually find it is to just Google ESRI training, and it pops up as the first hit, at least on my browser, maybe because I'm always searching for GIS stuff. And I'll show this site. I'm going to go to the site next. And there's 2 things I want to feature on that site. There are the web courses, and there's 2 flavors of those. There's free web courses that anybody can take, and then there's another category that is called requires maintenance, which sounds like an awful thing, but it's actually a good thing. And then instructor-led courses. All right. Who wants pizza? I know. I do. All right, there's the video. So go for pizza. Okay, eat a slice. Oh, they have one. Okay, so I'll let people get their pizza.
So the maintenance means the instructor-led.
What's that?
The maintenance.
No, well, it's actually web courses too.
Web courses too. Okay.
Yeah, there's.
Is it free as well or no? Not free.
They're not.
Not free.
They're only free to people who have the license.
Okay.
Yeah. The site license.
Like us.
Right. That's because the maintenance license. I think should just come up with something that says like with license.
Be specific, right?
Requires maintenance. Make it sound like they have to work on it. Okay. So I think we lost our connected person. So the site, there's just all kinds of opportunities and resources here. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of how to navigate it, how to look at things. One thing you can look at to start with is just the formats that they have and then the products that they focus on. So as far as formats, I click on this down caret, and I might have to scroll up somehow. There it goes. You can see basically that they have all these different sources of resources, or all these different resources, that's to say. And the 2 I'm going to focus on are the web courses. Whoop. Web courses and the instructor-led courses. And then you can see that some of the things the one thing I already talked about, the MOOCs show up here. But I'll show you how to get to those directly a little bit later. So you can start your search just by selecting, the format. And then it's very easy. There you go. And then once you make the selection, the menu down here will eventually change. I guess it did already. And then you can filter in on product. And they have all these ESRI products that you can navigate through: ArcMap, ArcGIS Pro, desktop extensions, AGO, ArcGIS apps, City Engine, and Business Analyst. So you can focus in on just particular. So if I wanted to do web courses on ArcGIS Pro, I can select that. And then it all changes to all these courses that are available. So, okay. You can also look at topics and focus areas. So I'm going to try to return this to its native state here. Forget how to do it here. I think select it. Yeah, I'll just go back and select. You can also look at these topics up here. You can browse by topic. So, for classes, you might click Getting Started. And then you'll notice that when you select any of these topic areas, this context menu below it changes. All right. So if you go to Getting Started, you can do Getting Started with GIS, which will be classes to introduce somebody who has never heard of GIS before. And then the next one would be Getting Started with the ArcGIS platform. That might be using ArcGIS Online and things like that. And then, there's ArcGIS Online right here. But then there's Getting Started with ArcGIS Pro. Once you, I'm just going to go to Getting Started with ArcGIS Pro here. I did something different than what I wanted to do. That's okay. And then you'll see all the offerings that they have. And right now I haven't filtered by format here. So you're seeing instructor-led classes, web courses. Training seminars are usually like recorded things that they've done. So it's just something you watch instead of a hands-on thing. And then there's tutorials, all this other stuff, documents. I'm going to go back to what I had started with first here in my notes. So I wanted to highlight something. I got to see how I get to it. All right. Forgetting how I got to my next slide. All right. They do, and I'll talk about that in a second. All right, how do I get to that? I'll have to I should have made notes on my notes. Okay, so that's weird. I wonder how I'm not getting to that. Excuse me for this mind blip here. Well, I'll just move on and then I'll figure it out later. What I wanted to show learning plans, which they have a number of them built in. Oh, here they are. Okay, that's right. I have to go up here. So another way that you can navigate possibilities is to select various learning plans that they've already developed. Okay, so these are, you can look by the topics, fundamentals of spatial analysis, managing an organization. For beginners, fundamentals of spatial analysis or get to know GIS. That's for secondary students, fundamentals of mapping and visualization. Okay, so you can click on any of these and you'll see a sequence of 10, like in this case is 10 resources that you can accomplish, you can go through. And you can enroll this plan. And it adds it to your dashboard. You basically have a training dashboard that you can develop when you are in ArcGIS, when you're in the training site. Okay, so this is an important thing. there's a couple important things here. Is that if you try to use Esri training, or if you go to use Esri training, you're going to want to sign in with the enterprise login for the university. Okay, because that will give you access to the maintenance required courses and the instructor-led courses that I'll talk about in a little bit. So we have instructions on how to, I think everyone here has logged in, but for the purpose of the video, the recording right now, I'll just point out that on the CSS website, we have a page that gives instruction on how to log into ArcGIS Online. So if you've never logged into ArcGIS Online before, you do that. And that sets in motion some scripts that we've written that adds you to Esri, gives you Esri access, basically, so you can do things like you take the courses. I will share the PowerPoint that I made with these notes so you can have these links and everything like that. Okay, so let me get back to my learning plan. Oh, that's not it. Where'd my learning plan go? Underneath this guy. Oh, that's actually underneath this because yeah. I don't know if I'm going to go to my learning plan right now, but I just wanted to point out learning plans. Any questions about that so far? Actually, I will go to the learning plan. Okay, so if I enroll in this, and I'm going to start writing learning plans that I've enrolled for as I do these workshops. So you have to use your enterprise login. And go in through redlands.edu. It'll validate your request. Bounce around. You get a back gateway. That's an unusual one. Let's try it. That's not good. Let me try this again. Oh. Sure, I can get you a bad gateway. It's consistent. All right. I'm going to back out of here. This thing's in my way. Go away. Go away. There. Yeah. We might just have to shut down the browser for a sec. Going back to something that I've seen around. WebEx isn't doing it. There it is. Okay. Momentary. Okay, so this will give you a course plan, and you can work through here and you can track your progress. If I click on any of these courses, it'll give you a little description of the course, the goals, and then it'll talk about suggested skills that you should have. Here there's a prerequisite to introduction to GIS using ArcGIS that they recommend. I would say in a lot of cases you probably don't need to do the prerequisite because this is probably our desktop course. So if you're going to learn ArcGIS Pro, jump into it and start using it. And then the other thing that's significant is that the course requirements, even for a web course, is that you have to have software installed on your machine. Okay, so you're going to need, if you're taking an ArcGIS Pro class, you will have to have ArcGIS Pro installed on the computer that you're taking the course. Now, there's other courses that are just ArcGIS Online or products like Business Analyst Online where you don't have to install anything. But if you're trying to learn ArcGIS Pro, you're going to have to do an install or use a computer that, like a university computer that already has it. So fortunately at CSS, we have a page on installing ArcGIS Pro and where you can download it from. This will work if you're not on campus now. I think it used to be that you had to be on campus. Well, yeah, two-factor authentication, that's right. You have to, okay. But yeah, you can download it and you can use your U of R credentials, your ArcGIS Online, basically your email address and password to, once you've downloaded and installed Arc Pro, you can validate your license with your university login credentials. All right, and if you need help with installing ArcGIS Pro, the center can help with that. Okay, questions about that? So I just wanted to point out that software is required for some of the courses. Yeah.
The student here downloads that software, depending on where they're at in the program. How long does the software stay?
As long as they're a student. And well, email addresses are disappearing, ceasing at 6 months after graduation.
So it's the same as your email is at.
Yeah, right. So this would stop once your email address stops working.
It probably doesn't work well on Macs.
On Mac, you would have to install Windows, either on Boot Camp or through an emulator, like, what's the emulator? I have it on my
Parallels.
Parallel. It actually runs pretty well on a Mac. But questions? Okay, so learning plans are something that you can enroll for.
If you are interested in getting some assistance with installing Windows applications or Windows on your Mac, you can see ResNet. They're well versed in setting students up with partitions and making sure you have all the prerequisites and RAM, space, and things like that. Go see at ResNet.
Yeah, the one thing, the sticker that for students is that buy Windows, which I forget what the student price is now. It's basically a subscription now, an annual cost. Okay. All right. So once you sign up for stuff or you sign up for something on the training site, you will your My Academy site will be populated, and so anything that you've signed up for or any learning plans will be on this dashboard. So you can go straight to your dashboard just by going to the ESRI Academy site and going on My Academy, and then you can start any of these courses from that dashboard. You can also look at courses that you have accomplished and finished, and get any certificates that were generated by those courses if you wanted to prove that you had done this work. All right. Any questions on that? All right, so let's go back to, let me look at this learning plan. I know I had signed up for that one. I better get working. So as I pointed out, there's two categories of classes, basically. Free and requires maintenance. So all of the ones that say requires maintenance here means that you have to belong to an organization that has a license to use these resources. And that's why it has this little unlocked symbol there. Okay, so any of these courses, these web courses you can take. There are also, let me go back to the Academy and just find a free course. Not in the catalog. And can find one. Here you go. Well, that's a tutorial. Free course, training seminar. Okay, I'll just search on web courses. Okay, so here's a web course on ArcGIS Online Basics. If you you can just click on that and you can launch the course. You don't need university credentials for this, but you need an ESRI Global account of some sort. But since you're at the university, you could just use enterprise login and get into the free courses also, and those will get added to your dashboard. Okay, so those are also available. The courses are self-paced. Work through, follow the instructions, do what it says, and it'll lead you through a learning progression. I have a high school student who comes over every Wednesday and works through these things. And I have found in many cases that they need updating. So it's possible that you could be working through something and you just get stuck. And it's mainly what I found so far is that they haven't adapted to newer versions of Pro yet. So there's some updating that's needed on the courses. It's stuck, you know, always get a hold of us, or yeah, I would just try getting a hold of us and show us where you're stuck, and we could probably figure it out. A lot of times it's just, you know, following step-by-step instructions and, you know, and missing a step gets you in trouble. All right, so those are free web courses. And let's go to instructor-led courses. So anyway, this with the free web courses or the maintenance required web courses, you can take as many of those as you want. We have unlimited access to all that material up on the training site. Okay, so then the other part where we have more limited access, but still access, is on the instructor-led courses. So let me go and find an instructor-led course. Okay. So I'm just going to search for instructor-led courses just to get some examples. And if you, you know, if you subscribe to a learning plan, it'll usually be a combination of free courses and instructor-led or web courses and instructor. So if you start working through a learning plan and you get to needing to take an instructor-led course, then you can. I'll talk about the process of doing that right now. So there are just, you know, gobs of courses that are offered by ESRI. As you can see, they're fairly expensive. If you had to pay for them outright, it's about $650 a day for an ESRI course. So we get 50. I think it's 57. I never figured out. You have to remember the number. But it's like 56 or 57 seats for instructor-led courses per year for general use by the university. So a seat means that one person can take a course. Okay, and they're offered to us on a waitlist basis. So it's like flying, and you're on the what's it called? What's that? Standby. Yeah, they're offered to us on a basis. So the process of choosing a course is that you'd find a course that you want to take, and then you would click on that and look at its schedule. No, this is not a great schedule because there's only one. Let me go find another one. Go find something that's going to have more offerings. Oh, I know why those are, that's ArcGIS, not Pro. So I'm going to go InstructorLed, and I'm going to say I want to find ArcGIS Pro classes. Okay, I'll just, there should have been more on the list. All right, so you'll see the start of a list here, then you can click the button to show all the offerings. And you'll see two different formats, basically. Well, I'll throw out three different formats for us. Many of them are online, which means that they're offered totally online. So you, of course, from your computer, whatever it is. And in this case, the course, you'll be using ArcGIS Pro software, but it's being run on a virtual machine. So it's being run on Amazon servers somewhere in the cloud. So when you sign up for the course, they'll lead you through the process of setting up your access to that server, okay, and to that machine, basically. And you have access to that while you take the class. It basically runs like it's running on your computer. And then you have access to it for about a week after the course ends. So you'll get a book of training material, a downloadable book, like a PDF, and then you'll have access to the data and stuff. If you wanted to go back and do the exercises again, you can download that data and you can do it again if you want to. Something to point out is that some courses are offered right here in Redlands, which is always nice when you can see that. And they're offered at the ESRI training facility, which is right over on Redlands near Texas Street, and right behind the Circle K at Texas and Redlands Boulevard. So it's really, you do this because then you're sitting there face to face with the instructor. And these courses they run multiple days. Like this is a 4-day course here. Is that 4? 3-day course. And they run from 8:30 to 5 o'clock every day. You sit in a computer lab and as the instructor. They have a wonderful coffee machine, a robotic coffee machine in the lobby. One of the best things about being over at ESRI. You get your materials and they'll lead you through whatever course you're taking. The other, then some of them are offered at a distance, which we usually don't have people signing up for a course in Vienna, Virginia, or something like that. But one thing, courses, one thing you have to pay attention to is the time zone, because they're offered all over the place, and sometimes you'll have courses that are offered on the East Coast. So it'll say it starts at 8:30, which means you're starting at 5:30 in the morning here. So depending on your sleep habits, you might want to watch something like that. I actually don't mind it myself, because then I get it over with in my day, the rest of my day, except I'm falling asleep there. That works out. So once you, if you want to take a course, you identify the course you want to take, the instructor-led course, and then we follow a very structured, detailed process here. You write to me, and you just send me an email, basically saying you can't really see this very well, but you tell me the course you would like to take, the course number, the course, and the dates that it's offered, and then also you provide me with a phone number. Those are the things. I need your phone number to register you for the course, since I already have your email address, and then I will go in and register you for the course. Okay. And then it goes to and I tell them it's a gratis course submission, and they will either put you on a waiting list, or they will refuse you or right away, or they'll grant you access. Usually, most often, people get into the courses. It's very rare that they're full, let anyone else in, but what has happened sometimes is the courses get canceled, depending. Something like an ArcGIS Pro class is a hot course right now, so those tend to fill other more esoteric topics, they might cancel. So anyway, right now, I think we use probably less than 10 of our seats a year for ESRI training like this. So there's lots of slack in our system, and people can be taking advantage of. I've had a number of graduate students in the School of Business take a bunch of these courses. But undergraduates could take these also, and if you wanted to brush up on some skills, so I would encourage you about that to do in your spare time over a break or things like that. Any questions about that, the process or all that stuff?
These courses help lead toward a ESRI certification, or is that?
Yeah, you could. I mean, they're covering the skills. I thought, no, they don't have a certification course, no, but they do.
I think at the end of the InstructorLed class, student get his certificate.
You get a certificate that you completed it.
Yeah. Showing class.
Yeah, Ruben's talking about the ESRI certifications that they have.
Certification, okay.
We have certifications that you're proficient at X software. So
Is it an exam?
it's an exam.
Exam, right?
You pay, I forget how much it is, $100 to take the exam, and if you pass it, you're certified for that software. Which for an undergraduate, it could be a good thing to have if you want to have it on a resume. We haven't really promoted it a lot with undergraduates because we're not sure. Not a lot of undergraduates have developed the proficiency that's needed to pass the, I forget what the lowest certification is, but you'd have to do extra work to be able to pass the test, which we would support, but we haven't. Most of us here don't provide enough expertise to pass the certification. That's a whole other ball game, and we could have a session on that. We've had sessions on certification.
One on learning plan of that.
The learning plan? No, no, you just
The instructor.
what's that?
Just the instructor led.
Just the instructor, because we have limited numbers. Yeah. Okay. All right, then other opportunities are. Lose my MOOC. I think I did. Let's see. Hold on a second. Step down over my MOOC. That one. That one. All right. Well, I will get to them. Do my typical method. Typing poorly. Has anyone here taken a MOOC? You know what a MOOC is? It's massively open online courses. So there are courses that are offered that it's free enrollment. There can be thousands of people enrolled in the same class. They're offered totally online, and they're usually conducted over a series of weeks, usually about 6 weeks for an ESRI MOOC. And periodically throughout the year, they offer MOOCs on various topics. All of these have been offered. I don't know when they're going to be offered in the near future. Let's see, or is this one? No, like this one says, okay, it's this one. Bless you. The only one that's coming up that's opening is Do-It-Yourself GeoApps, which opens on October 30th. So you can register for that class just by clicking on it and then clicking the registration link, and you use your university credentials to register for that. So these are super self-paced, but they move along fairly fast. I did the cartography MOOC this spring, and I don't know, I think it was 6 or 8 hours a week, I think, to work through. Basically, they give you a bunch of stuff to do. You'd have to install the software, usually ArcGIS Pro, and then work through the lessons. But you can interact with the instructors. They'll have videos, they'll have quizzes. They'll have a quiz you have to pass each week, and then there are rooms where you can interact with the other students taking the class. Usually they require you to post something every week also. But you go through that, and then you finish, and then you get a certificate that you've completed it, basically that you've graduated. The dropout rates on MOOCs are very high. Usually only about 5% of the people who sign up actually finish it. But yeah, they're a neat format. I kind of like doing the cartography MOOC. Okay, so those are MOOCs. And then the other site, just to be aware of, is called Learn ArcGIS. And Learn ArcGIS is a site that a team over at ESRI is populating with all kinds of lessons that you can go through. And basically the best way to go through this site is just to browse. They do have some of these getting started things, like if you want to do get started with ArcGIS Pro, they have a lesson. And this is just something that you would just go through. You would need the software also, but you can use your org account credentials to do this and work through the material. So I suggest if you're just starting out and you want a basic introduction to GIS or Arc Pros, do a combination of the Academy courses on the Academy, web courses maybe to start out with, or the InstructorLed courses, and then combine it with some of this stuff and learn ArcGIS. Any questions on all that?
During any part of this training, it's like they have a technical issue, whether it's licensing, said steps. Is it the recommendation that contact Center for Spatial Studies and not ESRI support?
Right.
So,
No, you can't. You cannot contact ESRI support. They'll send you to me. We have a limited number of people who are authorized to contact ESRI support. Ruben's one of them.
yeah.
But yeah, there's about 5 people. But yeah, you would contact us. And if you had trouble, the best thing would be to contact us if you get stuck, going through a lesson, or if you have trouble signing up or anything. You can contact the center. And our email address is spatialstudies@redlands.edu. That bursts to all the CSS staff. So usually someone responds to within a few hours or minutes sometimes, even on weekends, because someone will see the email. Depends on how big of a problem it is. But anyway, stuff like that. But that's our tech support line. All right. Any other questions? I think there's more pizza up here. Who wants more pizza? All right. Well, thanks for coming, and appreciate your participation. If you have any questions, just contact us, and we can help you out.